saying congratulations on such an amazing album. I've been listening to it over the last week absolutely non-stop, and I love it, so congratulations.
Thanks, man. This was a fun one to make, and it's been great to see all the really cool reviews, and seems like the fans really, really enjoy it. I don't know, the kind of me embracing my own old school roots, and then kind of going back a little bit to some of those old school songwriting aspects of my career. But at the same time, also going forward with some new ideas. I think Totem is a bit of both. But it just felt great to make the record and get it out there, and I love enjoying and hearing the people telling me things like you saying that you enjoy the record too. That's why I do this, man. It's for moments like this.
Definitely. Now tell us a little bit about the old school songwriting, because I understand that happened because your son asked you how you used to write in the old days.
Right, a little bit of that, but also my own kind of my own curiosity into, I guess, fusing a bit of a fusion of old and new. I'm in love with the old ways of songwriting, especially the stuff I did in the late 80s. Was kind of like, we found a way to write that was very simple but very effective, and you could make really cool stuff within 2 minutes and 33 minutes. You make a great song. You cut all the fat off the song. It doesn't need the extra fat. You just leave all the ingredients. It's kind of like making a meal. So you leave all the real necessary ingredients are there. The stuff that you know is going to taste good. You don't try to put extra stuff. You don't try to do anything too refined. You just kind of stay true to the recipe. And so half of Totem was that. Songs like Scouring the Vial and Superstition and Filth Upon Filth is very much me just being me, true to my roots of songwriting, like Beneath the Remains, Schizophrenia. And then the other half is a bit more adventurous, like Side B with Soulfly 12, a bit like Sisters of Mercy, Cure, and Spirit Animal, being about 9 minutes and a half of just never done anything quite like that. It was kind of cool just to go into total out of my comfort zone into something that I'm not very familiar with, which is almost like a prog rock mentality, but still having all the heavy elements still all be there. All those made for a real fun record. This was one of the records I made in a long time that I just enjoy. It was a pure joy playing with Arthur. Just riffing with him, seeing him shredding all over the record. It was great. Really, really enjoying the process of making Totem, and I'm enjoying even more getting the feedback from the fans.
You mentioned Soulfly 12 there, and that is an absolutely amazing track. That would have taken you out of your comfort zone. How do you approach a track like that where you are going out of your comfort zone? Do you approach that differently?
No, it's a bit like knowing that you don't know nothing. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
I know nothing. I want to learn, right? And you kind of go with that kind of mentality. There's no mistakes. It's all learning process, and it's all forgiven. And even if you do mess up, it's okay because you're going somewhere where you're not accustomed to. You're going somewhere where it's not what you do when you're comfortable. It's actually uncomfortable. So I'm trying to find those notes that in my head they feel like they could have been on a Sister of Mercy record or on the Cure record, and mix that with my own taste of melody. In fact, the original idea was actually try to get somebody from Sisters of Mercy to sing on it, but that didn't came true. It just became an instrumental. But the seed is planted there for the future. I think I will probably continue on this idea of trying to merge, this metal and a little bit of that 80s gothic that I like so much. And it is part of it. It is to feel comfortable. And also a song like Spirit Animal is the same thing. Like, I normally don't do long songs. I'm not comfortable with them. I'm super comfortable with a 2-minute, 3-minute song. It's easy. It's what I do. It's like I know exactly what I'm going. No, this time 2 minutes was just in the intro. I spent 2 minutes only on the intro of Spirit Animal. It was insane. But it's part of the fun of making this kind of records too. It's like you're learning as you make the record, and it teaches also humility. Like, you don't know nothing, and that's okay.
You mentioned trying to get someone from Sisters of Mercy onto the album. You did manage to get some amazing guests on this album. Tell us a little bit about some of the guests that you got to work with, and when do you know who the perfect person is to bring in to work on a song when you're writing it?
Some of them, they announcing themselves to you a bit, like Scouring the Vial was like that. I was actually singing the Scouring the Vial chorus, and I sounded like John from Obituary, and that's when me and Arthur kind of just look at each other and go, let's not imitate, let's get the real guy here, let's work with the let's work with John. Let's be better than if I try to sound like John, and that song just went on that way anyway. It was screaming Max Cavalera Obituary fusion from the beginning, and then other stuff I just kind of let it happen. I didn't know what was gonna really happen with the solos on the album. I know I wanted solos because I think it's badass to have solos everywhere in different parts of the album. That's how those early records were made, and it was great to have I knew Arthur could do a lot of them, and he did a bunch of them, and he is a great guitar player. But also we had John Powers from Eternal Champion doing some of it, and even Chris from Power Trip plays on Spirit Animal. So we just kind of let the record kind of tell us that, okay, this is some of the people that we need. They should be on the album, and eventually it just kind of goes there. It's a bit of a mystery, but you kind of let the album kind of tell you who to ask to be on the album. That's sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's something like a bucket list that all of us have as musicians. I have my own different artists I would still like to collaborate with in the future, but for right now, this record just really seemed like those were the right guys to make Totem a reality.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned Arthur there as well. He does such an amazing job on this album, and we know that he's been amazing in the underground scene over the years. What was he like to work with, and how did you initially approach him about working with him on this album?
So, yeah, I work with him now, made a couple records with him now. Started with the Cavalera Psychosis, and he mixed Go Ahead and Die. And we've been talking about, when I was looking for a new producer for new Soulfly, I reached out to him. I said, how would you like to be a producer on a Soulfly record? And he loved the idea. Of course, he was like super excited, and it was one of the cool things, kind of like he told me, like, if I'm doing a Soulfly record, I don't want to just do another record. I want to make the best one. It was that kind of attitude, the kind of energy that he brings to the project with a lot of these wizardry that he has. He's a wizard on the as far as a producer goes. He knows how to get things out of people that I wouldn't know how to get it out of myself naturally. He can get those things out of me and really, wake up like a sleeping monster inside of me to come out to the light, and we got all that done. It was great, but it was fun working with him, man, because he's like me. He's like breeds metal and has a knowledge of metal that's amazing and knows a lot about the underground. And me being a fan of the underground, it was a no-brainer that I'll make a full record with him like that. So, this one was even deeper than the Cavalera album that we made, where he was the producer, but he didn't really get involved on songwritings and things like that. Where in this album, he actually gets involved with riffing with me and creating ideas and talking about choruses and stuff. It was just amazing to make this record with him. I think if this record was done with somebody else, it would not sound like the way it does.
Definitely, yeah. Now, nature is a big theme of this album, and I love that because the original Soulfly album is still one of my favorite albums to put on when I go out trail walking or bushwalking. It's my connection with nature when I'm out there. Tell us a little bit about why nature is such a big theme on this album and what your relationship with nature is like as well.
Yeah, I mean, from when I was a kid, I was always really intrigued by nature stuff, especially growing up in Brazil, which is very beautiful, very tropical, and we have a lot of forests and we have ocean and all this beautiful stuff. And traveling the world, you get to see a lot of that too. And so I think at the point I was trying to make with Totem a bit was like it's okay to have technology. Like right now, me and you are communicating through technology, and it's great. But sometimes you just put that phone down and go out and experience nature wherever you are. And that's kind of like the Totem. Hopefully, what the album is based upon is discovering nature. And because I think to me, metal and spiritual and nature are all connected, are all they're all cut from the same cloth, and it's great. And so, even the inspiration for songs like Superstition, being a mountain here in Arizona, to a spirit animal, they're all very connected to nature things, and I love that. I think it was kind of like my own take on the natural world and how we as humans sometimes we forget how amazing nature is, and we live in such a high speed world of technology and internet. Sometimes you gotta put those things down and just experience nature, man, to feel the power of it, which is pretty amazing.
Do you have a favorite place to go to escape into nature?
I have a couple. I mean, like here in Arizona is really awesome hiking spots. Literally 10 minutes from my house, there's a mountain that I climb every time I want to take a break from home. When feeling gets a little heavy and I need my alone time, I go up in that mountain and really chill out. Sometimes I bring music with me. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just like me in the desert, and that's all I need. It's just great. Silence is a great thing. But I'm a huge fan of traveling, and that's why I think I love touring so much. You get to experience the world like no other people. It's amazing. Just the last month I've been to South America and Japan, two totally complete different culture and countries, and experience them in such a way is so amazing. And I love that about my job, that I get to do that. It's like a real blast situation. I get to experience so much cool stuff from the world that's sometimes it's even hard to put in words, but it's all it all goes up in my mind. And sometimes I don't even take pictures. Sometimes I just enjoy the moment. I don't need a picture. It's like I'm living there at that moment. Is great. The picture maybe is gonna be a distraction.
Yeah.
So I just be there in the moment.
Now, talking of travelling and touring, you're coming to Australia for the Good Things Festival and also for your own shows. How excited are you about being able to head back to Australia?
Over the moon, man. Australia's always been good to me. Apart from being an amazing country, it's a beautiful country. I hope I get also some time to see some more stuff. There's always something new to see in Australia, and I always love it. One of these days I'm gonna make it to Uluru, and it's one of bucket list things I have to do. Like, I don't know if this time we're gonna be able to do it. I don't know. I hope.
Yep.
There's still time to try to figure something out. But regardless, the crowd, you guys are incredible, savage crowd. It's like, I love it. The energy is amazing. You're kind of one of those crowds that give zero fucks. You just enjoy the moment. You just fucking go for it. It was that and the big day out, Soulfly 98, Killer BQ was like that, and this time is not going to be any different. I'm so excited.
How are the new tracks going live, and what can we expect to hear with the set list when you head to Australia as well?
So yeah, we're coming with Dino. I know he's a very loved person in Australia. You guys love Fear Factory, and it's cool to see Soulfly with Dino. It's like, it's a real treat for the fans. They get to see me and him sharing the stage together. It's kind of for a lot of people, like a dream come true. For two people that have done so much for metal to be together and sharing that, and Dino loves that as well. He loves playing with us, and he brings that Fear Factory heavy, chunky sound to Soulfly. So the stuff sounds great. The old stuff sounds great. The new stuff sounds amazing. So we are very excited. I think we're going to try to, I don't know how long we have at the festival, but we're going to definitely squeeze a couple new tunes in there and also play all the favorites, all the Eye for an Eye, Tribe, and Primitive Prophecy. The crowd loves it so much, and it's going to be fun regardless. But I am really excited to have, I think this maybe one of the last things we are doing with Dino, unfortunately. We're going to find somebody else next year to keep on touring. He also got to go back to Fear Factory, but I'm glad that we are at least doing one more run with him in Australia. It should be amazing.
Definitely. Well, Max, I cannot wait to see you guys in Australia. I'll definitely be there. But to finish off, what would you like to say to all of your Australian fans, not only before they go out and grab the album, but before they go out and grab tickets for your live shows as well?
Man, I want to just say, like, it's so good to be alive right now and being back at playing shows and sharing the stage with the fans. Finally, after this COVID, we're back and really, really enjoy music, even I think more than we did before, because now we know it can be taken away from us. So let's really enjoy the moment. And for the people, all the fans out there, I'm so excited to see everybody at the festival and at the headline shows. It's going to be amazing. I know it's going to be great, like always, and I will not disappoint you guys. It's going to be an epic show.
Awesome.